So, service design methodologies. And this is new. Service design methodologies are young, as I told you. And we will give you one resource and then some extra things that I will provide from all different sources. But the methodologies are kind of young and they focus on all the different people. They focus on the infrastructure, the logistics, they focus on the communication, and they focus on the physical parts of the service. Which could be what? Things you hand out, cards, leaflets, posters. It's all part of service design. So, you are going to look at all these things. You design for the people, actually design the tasks of the people. So, in the driver's license, the task of the driving instructor, the task of the driving student, the task of the examiner, the task of the person at the town hall who provides the pass, the task of the medical examiner to provide whether, to test whether you are physically allowed, able to drive a car, which includes a sight test and so on. Right? The infrastructure, everything that's part of this, the whole story of signing up for driving classes, doing a test, getting your paying for the test, all that is part of the infrastructure. And how it's communicated, right? So, where you can find information. And in many increasing number of cases, communication is through the web. So I'm afraid all of you are going to design websites in the end, because that's part of the service. It's part of to show the service, it's part of giving all the information and advertising. And service design is booming business, because there's an increased number of services that people request and that people design. And there are more and more people working in the service industry. More and more people not producing physical things, but producing services. And we have to make sure that the services are produced and provided in the right way. So they should be designed in such a way that my students don't go, or the brothers and sisters of my students don't go to the other university. If that happens all the time, then my service is not okay. If I'm a driving instructor and I found out all the new kids go to my colleague, then my service should be redesigned. Okay? So, redesign. That means that you are considering a service again, and I already told you, service design is iterative. You could say it's not perfect the first way around, so you do it again, and actually when the service is in place, you all the time need to check it and see how you can improve it. So even if the service is the same, the provider might change. We call this the back office. Even if the restaurant doesn't look different from the outside, maybe internally you are improving the quality, or you are improving the service, or improving the reliability, or the type of food that, or the healthiness of the food produced. So it's redesign of the service, including what's not visible to the customers of the service. Right? And so for instance, if somebody is sending a message to the university, I just put the address and send it to the secretariat, and I think this is all I can do. But I have no idea what's happening internally. It might move from one desk to another desk. People might put it on hold. People might be working on it without me knowing. Right? So this is the back office, but it's part of the whole service design. Because in the end, it results in some type of experience for the customer. So if you are going to design, you design also what's going behind the windows, behind the doors. Okay? On the other hand, we also have to redesign what is clearly visible to the customer. So this is the interface, the interaction. So the customers who sign in for a driver's course, maybe you could, in the past they would go to the home of the driving instructor and ring the bell and say, can I have a driver's class? And nowadays there will be a website. And if the website is 5 years old, it might be needed to redesign it because it doesn't make use of modern technologies, and people might want to sign in for their driving course now on their mobile or on their iPod. So you need a different type of web service for that. And maybe people would now like to sign in for other things. They might want to have special facilities, like a special car they would like to have their driving instructor. And so the driving instructor should show what type of cars he is teaching. It might make sense for people to say, I am not going to drive in that funny car. I want a Porsche car, right? So the front office needs to be designed as well and redesigned all the time. Especially because more and more people are communicating using modern technology, and if the service is still using old-fashioned technology, like just sheets of paper, well, maybe you lose clients and you might need to redesign this. Well, this is about as old as the concept of service design is. 1982 is the first one I found. Szostak tells us that service design is part of marketing. And actually he came with a clear distinction. He said there's products and there's services. And if you are designing products, you might as well design the services with them. So in a way, he's the first one to say, well, you should not only design the train, but you should also design the way people buy a ticket for the train. And this is new, 1982. Well, you might think it's old, but it's, if you look at how long trains are already going, or how long schools are already available, or universities, it's just like 30 years ago that somebody thought not only design the product, but design the way people use it. And then, service design as a design discipline, it's now just 20 years old. So this is the first time service design was considered a design discipline. And in 2004, so this is now 7 years, there was the Service Design Network. And the Service Design Network actually is the basis of most of the service design methodology, the tools and techniques that we are going to use. So based on this group of institutes, we now have a repository of techniques and some kind of methodology, and this is the best we can find at this moment. And my course, my teaching is strongly based on what these people have been doing. So, in a way, it's very new. And you are still one of the rare schools in the world that teach a course in service design. And it's very helpful what they've been doing. And you are going to use it starting next week in the laboratory assignment. You are going to use this in order to prepare your own presentations. Okay? And this is the website. So the website that I was pointing to is designed by Roberta Tassi, and she is in Milano. And luckily for you and for me, the website is in English, not in Italian. It's maybe you think this is bad for you, but you have to accept. It's an international enterprise. So based on her PhD thesis, there's now this website, and this is where most of your resources, your knowledge about techniques and tools, and actually the whole methodology is based. It's not just one person's work. I mean, Roberta, she wrote her PhD thesis, but that's just part of a very big consortium that has been working for about 6 years to really develop the art of service design. I say art because it's not just, wait, do this, do this, do this, and you are there. No, you always have to make choices and to be aware why you make choices. So this will be our base. And it's an open platform of knowledge, meaning that it's really public domain. Right? You can use it, you can cite it, you don't have to pay anything. So this is a rare type of service, because the whole platform in a way is a service. And they are still working on it, they are improving. And the service is for free. Meaning that nobody is paying for the service. I think somebody is paying. I think the institutes are paying. I think the different universities that are here and that are here, the schools, institutes, they are paying for the service. So they consider this part of their service. Remember, I asked what type of services this university is providing and who are the stakeholders, the clients. Well, I think you all are now, from today, customers of services provided by these institutes, because these institutes paid for the whole development, and in a way they pay, especially the Milano Polytechnic, so this is Polytechnic in Milano, they pay for keeping up the website, maintaining it, so they provide the service, somebody is paying for it, and in the end it's in many cases government money, so somebody is paying taxes for that, but for you the service now is free. Okay. Some characteristics of services in modern times, and as I told you, services, being aware of services is a new thing. It's really only 30 years old that people were thinking of providing services officially and systematically with goods. Right? Before that time, obviously services were provided, but people didn't think about it. And now we think about it, and at the same time, technology is growing, is expanding. Everybody is now connected to the internet, apart from the two of you and me here, but all the others are connected here in this location, right? So this is, and this means that we are now relying on it, and the service providers are relying on it. My university in the Netherlands is just supposing I am on the internet. Actually, my main university in the Netherlands is an open university, which means it's for distance education. I rarely can shake hands with my students. I have one student at the moment who is living in South America. I will never shake his hand like this. He will do everything through the internet. And so this is how universities work nowadays. They just presume you will be there, you will read your email, you will log into certain locations. My students at the Open University, they do their examinations over the internet. And we provide our questions just over the internet, nothing else. You get the password, you have to go there. And this means that well, it really has effect on services to provide, and at the same time, it's only 20 or 25 years that we are aware of services, and so they grow with the internet, you could say. More and more using electronic communication and providing services is connected to each other strongly. So